Time traveling. One doesn't need a DeLorean or a phone booth to visit an era of the past. One doesn't need to be a mythical figure to experience the lifestyle of those who lived before us. All one has to do is experience the information that has been created and preserved for the sake of enlightening others of what life was like in a different location, culture, and era. Details of history can be analyzed so students may comprehend how the sequence of events affected the lives of individual people. How did people think? How did people feel? How did people overcome the challenges in their daily lives? It is in the recorded details of one's life that a student will be able to see how ordinary people have contributed to history. A student will become aware of how people's simple convictions and actions have changed both their own lives and history as we know it. In literature, students will comprehend the inner thoughts, conflicts, and motives of the writers during the Jazz Age by dissecting the meaning of the language, the inspiration of style, and the development of technology. This will give a student a chance to look beyond the surface or physical appearance of a character to find similarities between the character and themselves. History is made up of acts of rebellion. The United States history is no exception. The history of the United States has been built upon moments of rebellion such as the Boston Tea Party, the Underground Railroad, and the Jazz Age of the 1920s. The Roaring Twenties was primarily known as the Jazz Age and was a time of rebellion against Prohibition. The 1920s was known as the Jazz Age or the Roaring Twenties and was a time of rebellion against the Prohibition. Prohibition was a time after World War I that the government felt that the distribution of alcohol would corrupt young Americans of their morals. But this was not going to stop people from sneaking out and having a good time. Many people rebelled against the government and made a profit by secretly distributing alcohol, in addition to testing their legal limits to the government. Many Americans wanted to explore the opportunities to better themselves. This led people of both gender and diverse ethnicities to travel to the cities and begin a new life for themselves. New opportunities and new outlooks on life allowed people to stretch out for more liberties and forms of expression. Women took on the fashion of the flapper and questioned why they shouldn't be treated as equal as men. African Americans utilized their own traditions to evolve and dominate the culture scene that became known as the Harlem Renaissance. Since society was being redefined, people took this time to explore the taboos in culture. The arts helped eliminate social repression between the sexes, the economic classes, and the cultural diversity in America. This was probably the first time in history when everybody wanted and found opportunity to create for themselves and others. The Jazz Age was shortly lived, but it provided a dynamic history that has brought positive repercussions to our present lives. As the old proverb says, until you know where you came from, you won't know where you're going. Only when we are able to travel through history are we able to continue a path into a bright future.